Hi, my name's Deb Humphries and I'm here today to share my fantastic Christmas cake recipe with you. My favourite time of the year is when I get my Rancho order, and one of my favourite things to do is make Christmas cake. And I have a very simple and delicious recipe that I'd like to share with you today. The thing I love about this recipe is it's very simple and the ingredients are very interchangeable. You can use whatever fruit you like. I have chosen the Rancho Baker's medley, and I like to put fruits that I enjoy. I like peaches, pears and nectarines, and dates and figs in mine. I think the most complex part of this recipe is soaking the fruit overnight in apple juice. That's the only time-sensitive thing. Flours are also very interchangeable, and I'm making a gluten-free option today, so it has rice flour, quinoa flour and arrowroot powder. I find those flours work really well together. I warmed up some coconut oil on the stovetop instead of butter, but you can use butter. The spices we have are just gorgeous: nutmeg, allspice, cloves, mace and cinnamon, and there's a tiny bit of sea salt in there as well. And then the nuts, the Rancho almonds and hazelnuts. I always like to use the Rancho organic palm sugar, but I'd also like to say that because there's a lot of sweetness in here with the apple juice and the fruit, you can omit the sugar and it tastes pretty darn good. And we beat the eggs just so we didn't have to watch me doing that tedious thing. It's really simple. Plonk them all in a bowl, mix it up, Bob's your uncle. I start with the fruit. It makes a very satisfying slushy sound, and the aromas are quite amazing. Then I'm going to add the flour, making sure that it's really well mixed. It's important to keep the mixture moist so that it absorbs all the dry ingredients thoroughly and consistently. I don't think there's any particular order to put things in, but the last thing to go in is the nuts. I'm not going to use all of the coconut oil because this is a very moist mixture. It needs to be not too runny, sort of holds together a little bit, a bit like honey in a way. Last, I'm going to add the nuts. I've lined these baking pans with a non-stick baking paper. It's a great way to cook them because you can just pull them out when you're cooling them and sit them on top of the upturned pan and let it cool, and then it's easy to peel off. It also keeps the moisture in when you're storing the cake. Since there's no rising of the cake, you can fill the cake mixture right to the top. The recipe has them stay in the oven for 2 hours, but it's good to check after an hour and a half. They need a little bit more time, depends on your oven. When the cakes come out of the oven, just let them sit until they cool down really, because they're very delicate when they come out of the oven, and if you tried to cut them, they won't cut as nicely as when they're left to cool down.